Hi guys, I wanted to start a new series on my channel which is looking at specific brands instead of looking at collections and reviewing them. I want to look at an overall brand and kind of tell you what I think of it, and also kind of make my way through all my nail polishes. So the first brand that I'm going to review for you guys is Cupcake Polish, and as you can see there are a lot of similar shades. I don't know why I have so many purples, but let's check it out. I bought all these polishes from Cupcake Polish probably about 2 years ago, and this is the only nail polish that I have in my entire collection that's actually lost its colour. I'm not sure how it's happened, but this is Planned Parenthood from Cupcake Polish, and it's supposed to be a really nice light blue holographic, but as you can see it's a really washed out like lilac-y colour. I'm not sure how it happened. When I bought it I definitely received it as a blue, so maybe there's something in the pigment that's not gone quite right. But anyway, back to the swatch. It is a really nice formula to work with. You'll see this in all the swatches actually. Cupcake Polish has got a great formula in all of them. It's fully opaque in just 2 coats, really smooth, creamy formula, and it dries nice and glossy as well. The next polish that I have to show you is called Peace, and this came out in a Holiday Magic collection back in 2015. This is a really nice medium purple that's leaning quite blue as well. It has a holographic base, but it also has lots of holographic micro glitter in there as well, so it kind of gives you that linear hollow and the scattered hollow effect at the same time. It's a really nice smooth formula. Even though it's got holographic pigment and holographic glitter in it, it's still really smooth and easy to apply. The second coat really deepens up that colour. As you can see, it doesn't dry completely glossy, so I would recommend adding a top coat to this one, and it is completely opaque in just 2 coats. Next up I have the shade Lilac You Mean It, and this is another medium purple, but it only has the linear holographic. It doesn't have that scattered holographic effect as well, and it is a little bit more warmer toned than the previous polish. It applies quite sheer on the first coat. I think it's probably the sheerest one, but it does build up really nicely. The formula again is really nice and smooth and easy to work with. It's definitely not too thick of a formula. It's really easy to use. This is also more of a pastel kind of purple. It's still a little bit darker than a classic pastel, but compared to the previous polish it's just that little bit lighter toned. It's fully opaque in just 2 coats. Next up I have the polish Poor Unfortunate Souls, and this was part of an indie box called Paint the Rainbow. This is inspired by Ursula from The Little Mermaid. This is a much warmer toned linear holographic polish, and it looked like it had a little bit of a blue flash in it as well. Again, I'm just repeating myself. It has a fantastic formula, really easy to work with, really smooth formula. It almost feels like I'm applying a cream polish, not even a shimmery holographic polish. The first coat is really smooth and there are no streaks whatsoever, and it's fully opaque in 2 coats. It doesn't dry the glossiest, so I would recommend adding a top coat. Next up, I have the polish Cheer, and this is from that same Holiday Magic collection as Peace. This is a pretty similar idea, so again it's a purple base with linear holographic and scattered holographic, but this is a much warmer toned polish. The previous one was very blue toned and this is much more red toned. It again is a little bit sheer on the first coat, but it does build up really nicely in just 2 coats. Again, it doesn't dry very glossy, so I would recommend adding a top coat. The polishes itself do dry very quickly as well. It is fully opaque in 2 coats. Next up, I have the polish Next Taupe model, and this is a muted lavender purple, again with a very strong holographic effect. It looks like the holographic is actually stronger in this polish than the previous ones. I'd say this is probably the most opaque polish from all of them. It's nearly opaque in just 1 coat, but I will be applying a second coat just to completely cover up my nail line. The second coat slightly deepens up that colour and it's fully opaque in just 2 coats, and again I would recommend adding a top coat. Next up, I have the famous Very Good Looking from Cupcake Polish, and this is their best-selling polish, as well as it being voted best purple linear holographic polish. This is a really bright, beautiful berry-toned purple. Obviously a linear holographic, but it also has an incredible blue to red flash in it. This is an incredible formula again, but it is slightly thinner than the rest of the polishes. As you can see, I did make a little bit of a mess on my index finger. It's nearly opaque in just 1 coat, but I am applying a second coat. It does slightly brighten up that colour, and it's fully opaque in 2 coats. It does dry very glossy, but I would recommend adding a top coat. And the last polish that I have to show you is called Bloodhound, and this is another best-selling polish from their website, and this is a burgundy red linear holographic polish. So it's quite similar to Very Good Looking, but just like the red version of it. Again, it has a really nice smooth formula. It is just slightly thicker than Very Good Looking, so it's a bit easier to control. It's nearly opaque in just 1 coat, but I will be applying a second coat. It dries quite glossy on its own, but I would recommend adding a top coat, and as you can see, adding a second coat really deepens up that colour. So the reason I wanted to start with Cupcake Polish is because they just celebrated their 5-year anniversary, and I have to say I think their polishes are fantastic. They're consistently 2-coat formulas, really easy to work with. They're not too thick, not too thin. And I know I don't have a lot of different types of polishes, different kind of formulas and different shades, but I think the polishes that I have are a good representation of the brand itself. The only disappointing polish is that really light muted lavender shade called Parenthood, which is supposed to be a really nice sky blue shade. Unfortunately, it lost all of its colour. Other than that, I think the brand is really, really great. So this is the point where I need your help. I'm looking to destash my collection, so I want to get rid of at least 2 polishes from this brand. And if you could just leave me a comment down below saying which one you think I should get rid of, and also maybe which one's your favourite, because I love to hear that as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.